Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have this 2022 Ford Bronco Sport, and we're going to do the taillight tint installation for this vehicle. So as you can see, this is how the taillight looks before doing the installation, and this is how it looks after the installation. So the tint has PPF properties, which means it'll protect the lenses from yellowing over time, as well as protect it from any small scratches or any road debris that may hit the lens. Link for the product will be provided below. With that being said, let's start with the installation video. So the tools you need in order to install the tint kit will be Slip Solution, Tack Solution, a heat gun, squeegee, and a microfiber towel. And a step-by-step guide in order to create the two solutions will be in the description below. So before we start with the installation, we need to make sure we prep the tail light. So all we need to do is apply Slip Solution to the lens. And with a clean microfiber towel, make sure to remove any contaminants that the tail light may have. So when it comes to the first piece that we're going to install, it's going to be this small piece that just covers this inner section of the lens. So what you can do with this one, just make sure you align it from one end and install it without applying any solution. Place it, and you could have a little bit of material to wrap around this section here. Just make sure there's no air underneath the film, that way it doesn't lift over time. And to help the adhesive activate faster, we can apply a little bit of heat, that way it doesn't lift when we overlap the next piece. Okay, once this one's good to go, now we're moving on to the next piece that covers the outer ring. So now for this section here, you could do the dry method as well. Just make sure, if you do this method, make sure you align it and you're covering the red reflector of the tail light. So align it there, make sure the red is being covered. So if you need to lift it and readjust it, you can. Place it down, should be good there. And all we need to do is just help the film remove any fingers and help it wrap around this curve here, just like that. If you need to lift it to help remove any fingers, you can. Make sure everything stays smooth. And to help it tack down where the fingers are located, just apply heat, and then little by little, we'll tack them down. So for example, around here, just apply a little bit of heat to shrink the fingers, and then we'll tack it down. Okay, it should look flush, no fingers, and then we should be good. Now we move on to the next piece that covers here. For the next piece, you can also do it the dry method, no solutions required. All you need to do is just make sure you align it where you left off with the film, overlap it just a little bit. Don't tack this down yet, because around this area, we're just going to apply just a little bit of tack solution. That way it's more smoother to tack down. And for this side, just make sure you align it, follow the design of the panel, and just help it tack down around the curve, just like that. And then just make sure there's no bubbles underneath the film, that way it doesn't lift over time. And do the same for this section. Make sure you lift it, align it, and tack it down to the curve. Make sure to remove any air. And now for this section here, we're just going to do the same steps as how we did it here. Lift the film carefully, slowly tack it down little by little. So go side to side, and then once you get halfway with your thumbs, go around where the edge is located and just help the film sit just like this. And then just help it tack down little by little. And once you get around the edge, we're going to apply heat. That way we help shrink the fingers, and then we just tack them down like how we did it on this area. So just a little bit of heat. You could use your finger to help it tack down. Do it slowly, that way we don't crease the film. And then everything should just be flat, just like this. Make sure there's no air. You can use your squeegee just to help remove any air, in case there is any. And now you're done with this piece, and now we can move on with this section here. Okay, so now we're moving on to this section of the taillight. So all we need to do is apply Slip Solution to the lens and Slip Solution to the adhesive side of the film, and start by aligning it on the top section here. So align it right on top, and everything else should fall into place. Tack it down, and it should look like this. So first we're going to secure the top, and then little by little work our way to the bottom section. So to secure the top, lift it carefully and apply tack solution underneath and on top of the film. Place it back down, keep it aligned, hold it in position, and grab your squeegee and start tacking it down to secure it. Make sure to remove all the solution that's underneath the film. and you are going to encounter some small fingers here and some here. To remove those fingers, we could just apply heat and tack solution later on. Right now our main focus is just to make sure this stays secured. That way we could just apply heat and secure everything else. So do just a small stretch so it reaches to the bottom here, and you can apply tack solution, that way it's more easier to tack down. So apply tack solution, make sure you stretch it just a little bit, and then start tagging it down. Secure this middle section and this middle section. And once you remove all of the solution underneath the film, we're going to apply heat. That way we start sealing everything, and also apply heat where the fingers are located. Okay, so before you apply heat, make sure to apply tack solution all around the film. That way we don't accidentally burn it when we're applying heat. When you're applying heat, make sure to focus on the areas that have those small fingers. Once you finish applying heat, all you need to do is grab your microfiber towel and wrap it around your squeegee. Make sure you hold the film and just start tagging everything down. Take your time when you're tagging down those fingers. You don't want to accidentally crease them, so just squeegee at an angle. And just do this whole process until you remove all the fingers. Okay, so now we're moving on to the section that covers this side of the tail light. So with this one, it's a two-piece installation. So we're going to have this one just covering this edge, and then the other film will cover this side. So all we need to do is just align it right on the curve, and make sure when you align it to the curve, you're covering the red reflector. So as long as you're covering that, you should be good. So tack it down, and that should be perfectly fine. And all we need to do is just lift the film carefully. Make sure to keep it aligned on this section here. So lift it carefully, keep it aligned as you go. And all you need to do is just guide the film until you reach it here. So right there, so just like that. And make sure to remove any air. If there is some, just lift the film and remove the air. And you would just squeegee all of the air that's in this section. So squeegee out all of the air, make sure to remove it. And this part should just wrap here. So make sure there's no air here before we seal it. Okay, and for this part, we're going to lift it and just make sure it covers up to the edge here. So just lift it, align it to the top edge, and just make sure you're covering all of the red reflector. So you could go section by section. So lift it carefully, place the film, use your thumb to place it, and just tack everything down. So that should be good here, and just continue on with the rest until you reach it here. Make sure to remove all the air. And all we have to do is just apply heat, that way we seal the edges and also help tack down around this small curve here. So just apply heat and we should be good. Okay, so now we're moving on to this section here. It's basically the same thing as how we did it here. You would start off here, wherever you left off, and just place the film and just go until you reach it here. Okay, so now we're moving on to this piece here. Like I mentioned, just align it wherever you left off. So place the film and just align it right on the edge. You can overlap the film just a little bit, just so you can have a little bit more coverage, but it's the same concept as how we did it with this one. Make sure once you place it, align it to this section here, and make sure to remove all the air. And if you're having trouble removing the air, you can also do this the wet method, meaning you can use tack solution to help tack it down. So let's say you're having trouble here, just apply a little bit of tack solution. You don't need to apply too much. Place the film and just tack it down as you go. Lift it, guide it, place it, tack down until you reach it to the bottom. Now, because it has tack solution underneath, you are going to just make sure to remove any solution that's underneath it. So to remove the solution, just spray tack solution, grab your squeegee, start tagging it down. That way it starts sitting. Help it tack down around the curve, and then just lay it flat around this area. Now it's just easier to tack down, and it will tack down faster since we didn't apply any slip solution. So with the tack solution, we're just squeegeeing it and tagging it down. Now to finish everything off, to seal the edges, just apply heat with a little bit of tack solution everywhere around the edge to seal it, and then we should be good. For this piece here, you don't necessarily need to have the trunk open, but if you want more room to work with, you can always open it. That way you have more area to work with here. So all we need to do is just align it on the curve. So make sure it stays aligned. And something to keep in mind, this tint is only covering the flat surface. It's not going to cover the inside of the tail light. So this whole piece here on the inside where the trunk is located is not getting covered. It's only getting covered this flat surface here. So just align it right on the edge and then use this section as the guide to align the rest of the film. Just like this. If you need to readjust it, you can, but it's just lifting, using your finger to tack it down and remove any air until you reach it to the bottom. That's pretty much it. If you need to readjust it, like I said, lift it carefully and readjust it. But other than that, it should be that easy. Make sure there's no air, and once this is done, apply heat to seal the edges, and then we'll move on to the last piece. Okay, so for the last piece, you can also do it the dry method. You can do it the wet method. It's really up to you, depending on how you want to go about it. With this one, what we do recommend though, is aligning this section of the tint right on the edge here. So make sure you just lift it carefully, place it, and align it to the top. Make sure you're covering the red, and that's pretty much it. We'll leave this here, that way it doesn't move. And we could do the same method as how we did it with this one, by applying a little bit of tack solution and then just aligning the film as you go. So like this. And all you need to do is make sure that the red on this side is being covered, but after that, everything else should be good. So make sure this is good. You're getting coverage here. Place it, and it should reach up to here. Just make sure to keep everything aligned. Make sure nothing's hanging on this end, so just lift it up carefully. Align it to the design of the tail light until you reach it here. So now it's perfect. Everything's being covered. And now just finish the top layer. Do the same thing, just so it's easier to tack down and remove any bubbles. Spray a little bit of tack solution. And with this one, it should reach up to the edge here. So make sure to keep it aligned. Tack it down as you go, and it's going to overlap this film. And that's pretty much it. Now all we need to do before we seal everything, apply tack solution, grab your squeegee, and start removing any bubbles that may be around this area where we installed the film. So just make sure to remove any bubbles, and then we'll apply tack solution again, and this time seal all the edges. So seal the outer section and the inside. And that's pretty much it. And you could use your microfiber towel just to help it tack down and seal the edges. So first apply tack solution all around the edges, and then heat and tack it down. So once you finish with the entire installation for the tail light, the last thing to do is to post heat the entire lens. So just apply tack solution to the tail light, and we're going to use our heat gun and apply heat throughout the entire panel. And as we're applying heat, we're going to use our microfiber towel just to help it tack down and also help remove any solution that may still be trapped anywhere around the edges of the film. And if there's still film lifting, just apply a little bit of heat, tack it back down, and you should be good. So just take your time post heating the entire tail light, and then once you're done with this step, you're done with the installation. Thank you for choosing Bogar Tech Design. As a small business, your support means everything to us. If you loved your product, please drop a review. If you have questions or issues, don't forget to message us via email. Once again, thank you so much for the support from our family to yours. So that concludes the installation video for the Taillight tints for the 2022 Ford Bronco Sport. We hope that the video helped you guys out with the installation. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.